Good evening, world. Good night, world. Good morning, world. This is Ivan O'Mara again. You guys are probably, oh my god, Ivan's making a video. No, 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 no. The only reason why I decided to make another video is because this is pretty much a continuation of my last video. I'm gonna call it the continuation of my one last video. So this video is pretty much a continuation of my other video, which is my final video. The only reason why I'm making an extra video is because there's some stuff I left out in my last video, like talking about the crewmen I want to bring on board for in Hollywood for my Last of Us Aliens movie. Also delving more into the Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson topic, obviously, as I'm going to be hiring one of those two directors for my Last of Us Aliens movie. Obviously, as you can see, you cannot see my face. When I said I'm officially piecing out for good, I really meant it. You're never going to see my face on this Salvage YouTube channel. The only time you're going to see my face is through the trends. So when me and VJ are trending worldwide, wherever we go, you'll be seeing me and VJ obviously worldwide trending. Obviously, you're gonna see the ads of me on my SkySource website, and you're gonna see the movie and the docs. Obviously, now I already delved enough about when I come out from death, crime eyes, I come from death. I say to my wife, "Yeah, you're welcome, VJ. VJ can finally see me," and I say my final 40 goodbyes, and I see her in Los Angeles, obviously. And then once I get that fat check, I get out. I told you, me and VJ are gonna make between to like $9 billion off the book sales. Even if me and VJ make $5 billion, it's still a lot of money. We can still start Skysys. We're gonna have to be more careful how we spend our money, obviously. But with $5 billion, we can easily still start Skysys. After we bought our condo, the jet, and all stuff, and we put money into the movie, we'll still have like $3.7 billion in our bank. We can still start Skysys, obviously. But if I have $9 billion, it's even better, obviously, because me and VJ will have more money in our bank, obviously. But I'm gonna make a prediction. I believe I'm gonna make $9 billion off my book sales. And even if I make 5.8 billion, I'll still be happy. 6 billion, 7 billion, I'll still be happy. As me and VJ are still gonna make a lot of money. We're gonna be rich like Batman. You know how you watch the comics and the movies, Batman is fucking wealthy. He has his top high-end house, high-tech house, he has his Batmobile. You know what I'm saying? He's loaded, he's a boner. Yeah, me and VJ are gonna be rich like those guys. We're so rich we're gonna be paying these Hollywood actors their millions of dollars, and even that's pocket change compared to how much me and VJ have in our bank. Obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah, man. Obviously. I told you, for my all my five movies, you're looking at amazing, entertaining movies that I'm gonna make. You have Last Hope for Zanus, then you have the Great Escape Organization, which again, there's a high chance Keanu Reeves. High chance those guys are chosen. They already know. There's a high chance Keanu Reeves, Scarlett Johansson, and Ben Affleck will be the three chosen big A-listers. And Paul Bettany is chosen for that movie, and then the Xavier guy, whatever his name is, he'll play the Hitman. He's chosen. For the small A-listers, I don't know who I'll choose for that. Henry Cavill's a good candidate. I can have Henry Cavill can be one of the couples in the company who dies. You can have him train. We meet him and he could be one of the couples. You never know. Henry Cavill's good for that movie too. He's worth like 40 million. So for him, if Henry Cavill is chosen for the small A, so I can pay him like $13 million for the role around there. 13.5 million. He doesn't get a bonus because he's a smaller A, so you can pay him a nice 12 million, 12.5, $13 million for the Ray Escape movie if he's chosen for that movie, obviously. There's a lot of good candidates for the Gray Escape movie to choose, obviously. Right? And I'm thinking Dwayne Johnson's good for the Hidden Vampire movie. He can be the other bigger A-lister. I can have him, Will Smith, and Mark Wahlberg in the Hidden Vampire movie. Dwayne Johnson. It's good to have some muscle in the movie like that. You see Dwayne Johnson fighting off the vampires. Yeah, man, looking at an amazing movie for that. I don't know who I'm choosing, man. You guys are gonna have to send your reels, man. But the high chance I'm thinking Dwayne Johnson's good for the Hidden Vampire movie. And have him be the other big A-list. I'll pay him like I don't know, like 40. Worst comes to, I'm gonna have to put more money in. There's a good chance I'll make the Hidden Vampire movie for probably I don't know 6. I'm gonna have to put a bit more money into it to pay the actors their salary. Obviously, I could put a bit more money like I don't know like 680 million towards the movie. That way I can afford to pay the A-listers. I can afford because a good chance because I can pay Will Smith and Dwayne Johnson like 40, 42, 44 million each. You can do that. I can pay, but I have to put money into the budget, obviously. And then Mark Wahlberg, I'll pay him like 36, 37 million or something like that. 36, 37 million. which is a nice paycheck, obviously. And what I'll do for the bigger A-listers, because they're such big actors, I can give them like, I don't know, I can give them like $1 million, 1.5 million for the poster sales because they're big actors. That way you keep them happy, obviously. Whereas all the small A-listers and everyone else, you pay them $250,000 for the royalty check. Whereas the bigger A-listers, I can pay them like $1 million, 1.5 million for the poster sales. Considering me and Reed are gonna make like $1 billion, billions off the posters, you can pay the bigger A-listers like $1.5 million for the poster sales, which is a good deal. That way you keep them happy, obviously. And you pay them a nice salary. But if Dwayne Johnson were in my Batman movie, I'd pay him like $44 million for the role, $20 million salary and a $20 million bonus, and a $24 million salary at the start of production. And Will Smith, I can pay him $44 million to $24 million salary and $20 million salary at start of production, and you can give them like $1 million, $1.5 million for the poster sales, and they get their $250,000 recurring royalty check for the re-releases, which is a nice deal. And that's the only back end deal they're getting. I'm not giving them a piece of the profits. Their agents are greedy and they want a piece of me and VJ's royalties when they're not worth it. They're what? They're not getting a piece of the royalties, obviously. Right? But yeah. So I thought it'd be cool to throw in. I think Henry Cavill is a good candidate for the Grayscale movie. I can have him be the one of the couples who gets killed. So you won't see. I can have him be one of the couples who gets killed and all that stuff. I don't know. I'll do a scene when me and VJ take the job. We meet. I don't know, Henry Cavill. He's one of the couples on the plane, and you get a little bit of the story with him. You get a little bit of the story with him too. You can have some scenes with him and his wife and all that stuff. Him and his wife and they're training a company and they get killed. Yeah. For that movie, I'll pay him, I don't know, 12. Because he won't be as... I can pay him like $9 million. Because he won't be as major in that movie. He'll be a major character. But like the couples, you won't meet until like halfway into the movie. Like I don't know, 40... No, you meet him like 40 minutes into the movie, the couples around there. Now, I'll pay him a nice like $12 million, $25 million for the role. Which he'll accept, obviously. I'm not going any higher than that for him. Pay him a nice like 12.5, $13.5 million for the role if he's chosen. Pay Henry Cavill a nice $13.5 million for the role for the Grayscale movie. He's a good He's a good candidate too. He might be chosen too, man. Those are the people who I'm thinking of for the Grayscale movie. So you have Keanu Reeves, Scarlett Johansson, and Ben Affleck, and then you have Paul Bettany and the Xavier guy, whatever it is, from Country Road Man. And I'm thinking Henry Cavill for one of the other small A-lister who will be in. That's why the Grayscale movie will have so much buzz, because you're looking at all these A-listers in my movie, man. All these big A-listers in my movie. You have Keanu Reeves, you know what I'm saying? You have Scarlett Johansson, you have Ben Affleck. That's already crazy. Oh my God, these guys are not even in this movie. And you also have Henry Cavill and Paul Bettany. And the guy from Country Road Men isn't that big. Hence why I'm paying him like $5 million. Hence why I'm going to keep saying this. Hence why the A-list actors are so important. And hence why I want to have a rule for like 6 to 8 A-listers for my movie. Because the A-list actors build all the buzz. Whereas no one cares about the B-list actors. Hence why the B-list actors, they don't get paid as much. Obviously. And then for the Grayscale movie, I will have a few major roles open for B-list actors. So all you Hollywood actors, don't panic. Oh, Ivan only cares about the A-listers. No. I'll give the A-list actors an opportunity. There's a good chance I'm going to have like, I don't know, 2 to 3 spots open for a major role for B-list actor in for my Grayscale movie. And those guys you pay like 2.5, 2.2, 3 million for the role, which is a nice fucking pay for a B-list actor. But I'm going to keep saying is that their agents, the B-list actors' agents, try to get a piece of Meanwhite's royalties. Try to get more money, like $10 million. They're not getting $10 million. They're not worth it. Only the A-list actors are worth that kind of money. The smaller ones are not worth a bonus, but because they're A-list actors, they're still worth a rich salary, a nice $9+ million salary, obviously, right? Whereas the A-list actors are the ones who are worth the dough because they're really, really big actors, but they're not worth Union Rights royalties. I'm going to keep saying that. They're not worth Union Rights royalties, obviously. You guys are probably happy. Oh my God, Ivan's making one last video. Yes, this is officially my last video, guys. I won't be making any more after this. There's a lot of things I left out in my last video, hence why I'm gonna call this a continuation of the one last video. It's a continuation of my last video, pretty much. So it's still my last video. I thought it'd be cool to make a one last video, but even listening to me is still interesting because anything Ivan O'Meara is interesting, obviously. As once I upload this video, my wife, oh my God, she's gonna be excited. She's gonna go on her phone. I don't know. Whenever I upload a video, VJ stops crying and she goes on her phone and she listens to it. And she's all happy and she smiles because I'm her last hope. Because VJ sees hell and she got duped, and so I'm her last hope to freedom. I'm her last hope to freedom. I'm her last hope to seeing me. I'm her last hope to being a billionaire. As VJ's keys are useless. So even though VJ has the keys, her keys are useless because the doors are locked on her, man. She can't make her billions because she's sold out, obviously. She's probably, oh my god, I wish I didn't sell. VJ's probably, oh my god, all I had to do was just write my own book and I would have made my billions. Yeah, man, all VJ had to do was write her own book and she would have made her easy 8-9 billion like me, obviously. Because even though VJ's end, because she's God, the whole world would buy her book too, obviously. She would make pretty much the same amount of money as me. Pretty much, right? I might make maybe, I don't know, a billion more or something like that, but we're both special. As VJ, the whole world tunes into her life every day too, obviously. I'd make more money, obviously, because I'm white. Don't hate me, VJ. But VJ would have made her easy billions had she just wrote it. All she had to do was write a book about her dog, Sammy and Sophie. She would have made her easy billions. She would have had to pay a fee for her book, obviously, but she would have made her easy billions. Yeah, man, VJ got duped, man. And it's our last hope, obviously. And you guys already know how top-notch of a Skyscraper's company me and Victoria Justice are going to own. You're looking at something top-notch, man. Something better than all these Hollywood companies. Better than Disney. Better than... You guys see footage, you know what I'm talking about. Better than Warner Bros. I already talked about in my last video. I'm going to build a nice office for myself. There's a good chance me and VJ, we might even spend up to 60, even $70 million just for building all those buildings. Because if you want to pimp it out completely, which is easily affordable if you have $9 billion in your bank. Me and VJ are gonna spend a lot of money, but the money going to building the building for the special effects team and the 7 team, that's not part of the budget because that's an investment for the future, as we're gonna be using that office for decades to come, obviously, right. And I told you, if you have $9 million in your bank, $7 million going towards paying for all that stuff is pocket change. Well, it's not pocket change. $7 million is a lot of money, but if you have $9 million in your bank, it's easily affordable, obviously. So me and VJ are gonna, once you hire George Lucas, we're gonna have to buy that land. I'm gonna buy probably a good, like, I don't know, 50 to even 100 acres of land, a nice property near the water. And then we're gonna hire that architect company. We're gonna plan out our interior and exterior for our studio office for the 7 team, where the 7 team will work, obviously. And then we're gonna have to. That's probably gonna cost like $20 million alone for that building, for the 7 team. A lot of money. High tech alarm system. I'm also gonna have automatic doors in my office, something high tech, and I'm gonna build a building for the special effects. That's also gonna cost probably another $15 to like $20 million. I'm gonna ask George, okay, George, how many departments are there? He tells me all the departments, and we just strategically plan out all the layers, all the rooms for the building, for the special effects team. Obviously, the building for the special effects team. You see what I'm saying here? We're going to plan out the building for the special effects team. You're looking at a top-notch building where the special effects team are going to work. And, yeah, we also have to build roads. We have to cut down trees. It's a good chance. Vancouver has a lot of trees. There's a good chance the land that we buy, they're going to have to cut down a lot of trees. And cut down a lot of trees. What I'll do is I'll donate the trees to another to another company. Because I'm all for the environment. I'm all for clean, green environment. I'm not one of those dirty people who doesn't care about the environment. No, I'm all for the environment. When they cut down the trees, you can donate the trees to another company, a wood company, something like that. That way you help out the environment. Obviously, you're looking at a top-notch product in VJ. I'm also gonna build my own docking area for the jet. Hence why I told you it's gonna cost me in VJ probably a good $70 million. For all that, man, because I'm also gonna tell VJ, hey VJ, let's build a freeway area for our private jet. That way, when the jet arrives to Vancouver, it lands on our property, and the jet takes me and my wife, the actors, to my office, to my nice office. Obviously, that will cost probably another $25 million just to build that. To build the freeway area for your jet. There's a good chance me and VJ will buy 2 jets. I'll buy like the $70 million jet will be for the business, and then me and VJ can buy a cheaper like $30 million jet for just me and her when we travel when we do our personal stuff. We can do that. I'll buy like two jets. Buy a $75 million jet for the business with a SkyStar sign, and we buy a personal jet for we buy another smaller jet, like a $30 million jet for me and VJ. 18, 25, $30 million jet for me and VJ when we travel to other countries. Also for the business too. It could be used for the business too. For example, when the actors are flown into Vancouver, I think the actor for Tacitonius and I think like guys like John Boyega and Andy Serkis and like I believe they live in London. So they live in London. Once they part up my condo, they can go in the smaller jet and now they'll be flown to London. They can sleep it off in the jet. I'm gonna have these nice chairs where they can just sleep it off in the jet and they can fly them. Don't have them fly commercial. You can't have them fly commercial if they're drunk. You have to fly them privately, that way they can sleep it off in the jet and they'll appreciate that. You fly the actors privately, they're gonna really, really appreciate that. As there's nothing worse than waiting hours in line and flying commercial. Obviously. You see what I'm saying here? There's nothing worse than waiting hours in line and flying commercial. That's why I'm flying even the crewmen are going to be flown privately to Switzerland. So once the third year for the Last of Us project, the crewmen are going to be flown to Switzerland privately. So I'm going to lease a good 10 planes. Because looking at 1,500 crewmen, I'm going to lease 10 planes, 8 planes, and all the crewmen and Peter Jackson or Omar Gibson, they're going to be flown privately to Switzerland. Probably that way they work harder for you, obviously. And they're going to begin planning everything and building all the sets, preparing the special effect equipment. The special effects team are going to have to prepare the special effect computer equipment, obviously. Again, I'm putting almost $400 million towards special effects. That's already like something unheard of for Zanus. I might put a bit more. I might put a good 90-80 towards the movie just in case. That way I know that just in case there's extra costs on stuff. Because the fee for what? For Peter Jackson, Mel Gibson staying in a hotel, John Hal Allen Lee, the photographers. You know what I'm saying? The photographers, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The web designer. They're all staying in a hotel. That all costs money. It costs like a couple million. And so I might put a good an extra 10 million just in case. Because there's a lot of costs, obviously. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of costs. I'll babble on for a good 10 minutes and I'll start talking about the crewmen. The crewmen I want to bring on board for Zanus. I want the crewmen who worked on Lord of the Rings, the originals, to come on board and work for my movie. So I'm gonna make it easy for the 7 team. I don't want to have the 7 team look at resumes. They don't have time to look at all that. They have to make business calls. And so take the stress off. I'm gonna put out an ad. I want a good 1,500 crewmen who worked on Lord of the Rings to come on and work for my Last of Us movie. So all the crewmen who worked on the original Lord of the Rings, they'll be hired on board to work for my SkySource company, obviously, as well as Weta Workshop. I want Weta Workshop designing all the armor and weapons for my movie. So they'll be designing the armor and weapons for the main actors and the wolves when they're fighting in the war and also, as well as a couple hundred armor for the extras, as well as weapons for the extras. I'm gonna ask Weta Workshop, hey, can you pull off making 15,000 human armor? Can you pull on making 25,000 wolf armor? If they can pull it off, that's great. They can make all the armor. If they can't, I'll have them make maybe a couple hundred, 1,000 armor, something like that, and then the rest you have to lease, rent. Obviously. But if they can pull it off, then that's great, obviously. Worst comes to worst, I can give them more time. Worst comes to worst, hey, look, man, if you need more time, I can have you start working on the armor the second year. I can have Weta Workshop start working on the armor early the second year. Obviously, that way they have more time to create the thousands of armor if you want. We'll see what happens, obviously. But I want the crewmen who worked on Lord of the Rings to work for my Last of Us movie. That way the 7 team don't have to look at the resumes. The only people who the 7 team have to look at the resumes for are like the chefs. The head chefs and the assist sous chefs. I don't want to hire those line cooks, those people who worked at sandwich shops for Lord of the Rings. We know I'm gonna hire actual chefs for my for my company, obviously. And there's a high chance Eric Chong will be chosen for one of my head chefs. I'll pay him a nice $400K for my movie. Again, he already knows if he's chosen. You can see the future. There's a high chance he is chosen. There's a high chance I'm gonna tell Vijay, hey Vijay, I saw this man Eric Chong on MASH of Canada. He won the show. Very smart man too. Obviously, he owns a respected restaurant. One of the judges. I want to have him on board for my head chef, and I'll pay him $400,000 for the term of the movie, which is a nice paycheck. And for the Greatest King movie, he gets his $412, which is nice, obviously. And that's how Thomas of a Skies' company, me and VJ are gonna own. We're gonna own an amazing Skies' company, obviously. And I'm not kidding around, guys. This is my final video. I just thought it'd be cool to continue and babble on about a few things. There's a few things I missed out on my last video, and so I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna call this video a continuation of my last video, right? And then after this, I am done. I'm already forgotten what I said about this channel. All I'm doing now is working on my book and getting ready to pay this fee and be king with my wife, man. You guys made your choice. You chose to cause mess in my life. And it's when I'm king, my screen with me, you're left behind, you're not saving me. If you think you're going to do me like that, you're not going to do me, man. Only those actors and crewmen are going to be saved, whereas everyone else are left behind. You guys are not saved. You reap what you sow, man. And you're going to pay this horrific price, man. As being left behind is a horrific price to pay. Very horrific price to pay, obviously. So I'm going to talk, before I talk about the crewmen, or I already talked, but before I'm going to talk more about Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson. Okay, so for Last of Us Names, I'm no longer going to be directing the movie. It's too stressing. I prefer to hire a director who has experience, who produced big budget movies, to take that stress off me. So while I'm working my script, while I'm practicing my lines, I don't have to take all these directing ones. I won't be stressed out. The director will handle all that for me, obviously. Right. So for my Last of Us Names movie, Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson will be the two directors who will be competing for the directing job and the executive producing job. And they will be the boss of the whole movie. They'll be the boss after me and my wife, pretty much. Well, me and my wife, even though we're the boss, me and my wife are more focused on the creative, obviously. My point is, Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, whoever's chosen, they're going to be the boss of my Last of Us Names movie. They're even going to be the boss over the 17. Hey, man, you guys are the boss over the 17, and I'm going to have them help me and my wife make the business calls. Hey, Peter, you know what I'm saying? Hey, okay, Peter, you know what I'm saying? I want to get IMS cameras. What's the best company? What are the best equipment for the cameras? Yeah, I know all the best equipment out there, and he helps me. You can even have him make the business, make the call himself if you want to. Have him help you out. Yeah, he's my executive producer, obviously. I can even have the directors in the room when they negotiate the contract with the actors. You can have the directors help you out with negotiations with the actors if you want. Considering that they're your executive producers, you can have Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson help you out with the when the actors sign a contract. Hey, Peter, how much do you think this actor's worth? And then Peter Jackson can give, yeah, I think his actor's worth this much money. You can do that. You can have Peter Jackson help you, or Mel Gibson help you with negotiations. Considering they're executive producers, you can have them help you with signing the contracts. Obviously, with the actors, just the actors, not the crewmen. The crewmen, me and VJ can sign all those contracts, but you can have Peter Jackson and even Mel Gibson help you with signing the contracts, all that stuff. And those two directors are perfect for the movie. Something tells me Mel Gibson's the right man for the job, but something also tells me Peter Jackson's the right man for the job, because he did Lord of the Rings, and I'm also hiring the Lord of the Rings crewmen, as Peter Jackson knows all those guys, whereas Mel Gibson doesn't know those guys. You know what I'm saying, and Peter Jackson, you have that fancy role for the Lord of the Rings. And it's tough, obviously. Tough choice between those two directors. So first year, once me and VJ take our 1 year vacation, our beautiful with our columns built, our nice luxurious offices built, we put out the ads for the doc team, the photographers, the web designer, graphic designers, you know what I'm saying, and the 7 team. We hired our 7 team. We hired our team now, obviously. But we're now ready to start work. Immediately, I'm going to call Peter Jackson's agent and Mel Gibson's agent, and I'm gonna say, hey, look, I'm interested in hiring your directors to direct my movie. I wanna fly into my office. Okay, and the agent's like, okay. And then Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson will be flown privately to me and VJ's luxurious office to Vancouver. Even they're gonna be wowed by Scarce. Holy shit, Scarce is top notch quality, man. This is better than Hollywood. I'm saying they're gonna come to my nice office. The limo driver takes them to my office, yeah, and the doc team's filming them. They're having a blast. They get their 2 beers in the jet. I'm going to ask them a series of questions, and whoever comes up with a better answer, that is the director who I'm hiring. That will be the director who I'll be hiring for my Last of Us Names movie project. You see what I'm saying here? Okay, when you read my book, what do you think of Eritech? Do you see him as a wolf with 4 legs? Do you see him as a wolf with human appearance? Do you see him looking like a werewolf? Do you see Zanus as a rated R movie? What do you think of when I mention the South? being cursed? What do you think of when I mentioned the North being holy? What do you think of Xanus? What do you think of the ancient Gilead city, the forests of Galathia, the cursed Western Gilead's mountains with the big mosquitoes and the jaguars? What do you think of what? What are you thinking of for the war? The Valley of Blood, the bridge between the north and the south. What are you thinking of the devil cursed ancestors in the south, the holy ancestors of the north? What are you thinking of for Saphius? What are you thinking of for Cyrus, the farmland? Ask them all these questions. Well, yeah, I'm thinking this, I'm saying. And whoever comes with a better answer, that's the director who I'll be hiring. And I don't know who I'll be hiring. Before I said I was leaning towards Mel Gibson, but I'm kind of leaning towards Peter Jackson more now, too. Because Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings, man. Lord of the Rings is the best movie George ever made. As well as I'm hiring the Lord of the Rings crewmen. And Peter Jackson knows a lot of those crewmen, obviously. Whereas Mel Gibson doesn't know any of those crewmen, obviously. And as Peter Jackson can connect with them more, obviously, right? But I don't know, man. Something still, my guts kind of tell me Mel Gibson's the right man for the job, man. Because he did Passion Christ. He's also a Christian too. He's a man of faith, obviously. That's why he's so good for that last one. And Mel Gibson is perfect for that horror stuff. Aratak being the devil himself, all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Now, whoever's hired, I'm willing to pay Peter Jackson like $60 million to direct my movie. So I'll give him a $10 million signing bonus for the 3 years of pre-production. So he gets like, I don't know, after taxes and the agent, he gets like a $5.5 million check in his bank, which is nice. So you get a $5.5 million check in your bank for co-writing the script with me every morning, doing the concept arts with me in the afternoon with John Howe and Alan Lee and all them, creating the characters, doing the world building, obviously, as well as what? You'll be helping me out with the business calls. I only have them help me and VJ out. The 7 team, they can consult with the 7 team, and they can help me and VJ out with the business calls. The food, okay, Peter, you know what I'm saying? We need to feed our crew. You know what I'm saying? What kind of food should we? This is what I want to serve the crewmen. Yeah, Ivan, you know what I'm saying? Let's serve the food this crewman. You can help with all the business calls, calling the farms, the luxury kitchen equipment like MasterChef. We have to make those calls. The machining for the mask. Okay, Peter, I want to get the best machinery for creating the mask of Aratak, Fool, and all them. Okay, Ivan, yeah, this is the best company. He helps you call those companies. Helps me and VJ call those companies, obviously. The IMAX cameras, I'm going to lease a good 8 to 10 cameras. The drones for high shot footages. You know what I'm saying? The equipment for the cameras. You need equipment for the cameras, for the war, all that stuff. You have to hire you have to buy the lease the equipment for the cameras, yeah. You lease it. Never buy it. As in Hollywood, they lease everything, obviously. Never buy cameras. No, lease the cameras. As if you buy a camera, a better technology of a camera will come out in a few years, and you end up wasting money. You rent the cameras. Rent a good 8 to 10 cameras. Okay, Peter, I want film cameras. I don't want the Ivan. You don't want I know you don't want your film to be digital. Yes, Peter, I don't want my movie to be what? To be digital or to be digital. I want it to be filmed. Okay, Ivan, you're gonna have to call this company. This is the best company for all the cameras in Hollywood. And you call that company in America and you lease like 8, 10 cameras. You know, some top notch. And you pimp out all the IMAX cameras fully with focus and sound. You know what I'm saying? You get the best equipment you can get for the cameras, the best drones. Because back in the day, I saw behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings. Back in the day, they used helicopters for cameras, for high shot footages. Now you can just use drones. High tech drones to do your high shots to have all these high shots for your movies, obviously. High shots for the war, all that stuff. Gliding, the gliders for the cameras, the camera stands, you need to buy all that. The equipment is not that expensive. It's only a couple of $1,000. Whereas the cameras are really expensive. As IMAX cameras are like $500,000 a pop, man. So you're looking at like $6-7 million just to lease 8 IMAX cameras. You're looking at, I don't know, like $6.5-7 million, which is easily affordable with a $980 million budget. There's a good chance I'm going to put an extra $10 million towards my my budget, obviously. Just that way I have more money for the movie, obviously. Whereas the 17 will make the calls for the special effects team. For the special effects equipment, obviously, the computer software, obviously. I'm putting $380 million towards special effects. Even more, perhaps even $390 million. I could put a bit more, depending on how much money I have left over on the budget. If I have like $30 million left over on the budget, I can even put an extra $10 million towards special effects. $390 million towards special effects. Hence, we're looking at something unheard of. And Peter Jackson, whoever's hired, or Mel Gibson, they'll be helping me and my wife with the business calls. And then whenever we do the concept arts, John Howe and Alan Lee will be what? Will be coming to them All the design team, they'll all be coming to Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, asking them all these questions. I'll be helping them out, obviously, because it's my baby, obviously. This is my movie. But Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, I'm gonna make them the boss man. Hey, look, man, you're the boss of the movie, man. That way he takes that. Trust me. Even though I'm very creative, I don't what. It's my first time making a movie. Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, they have experience. They've executive produced big movies before. Hence, they obviously know what they're doing. Hence why I don't want to put that trust in me. I don't have any directing experience. Hence why I'm going to hire one of those two directors to direct my movie, obviously. So Peter Jackson want to pay him $60 million. So a $10 million sign bonus for pre-production. So he'll be helping me with the script, co-writing the script, obviously. Taking his directing notes with the assistant director, obviously, and he'll be doing the consults with me and helping out, consulting for business and help me VJ out with the business calls. If he's hired, which is a nice paycheck. So we'll be staying in a hotel for the 1 year. Obviously, paid for his hotel. I'll have him stay at a nice hotel with a pool and a jacuzzi and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna have him stay in a lush hotel. Have him stay at a nice like $2,000 a night hotel. Have him stay in one room. You can have 3 rooms. Him and the assistant director and like John Howe and Alan Lee, they can stay in the one hotel room. Obviously, you can have a hotel with 1 to 3 rooms. With 3 rooms, have Peter Jackson stay in that one room. His assistant director and like John Howe or Alan Lee can stay in the room, and then the other rooms, the photographers, web designers, graphic designers will be staying in another hotel room too for the 1 year. And their feeding is taken care of for the 1 year every day for breakfast and lunch. A limo driver will take them to the restaurant for breakfast and lunch, obviously. But whenever Peter Jackson or the console artists and all of them want to go out to the bar or go see a movie, so that's their own money. You have to pay with your own $1,000. If you want to go out to a bar and hang out with them, that's your own money. You're fucking rich. And John Howe and all of them might pay them $107,000, hence they can easily afford to go out to the bar with them too and all that stuff. That's your own money. If you want to see a movie on theaters, go to the bar. You know what I'm saying? That's your own money. Whereas your feeding is taken care of for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and your living is taken care of. And I'll have them stay at a really nice hotel. Not a luxury hotel, but those nice hotels with nice rooms and a nice pool, a nice jacuzzi? Yeah, a nice hotel like that. With a gym, a pool downstairs, a nice hotel. That way they work hard for you, obviously. And Mel Gibson, I'm willing to pay him $50 million for the role. I'm willing to pay him a nice $10 million sign bonus. He'll be doing the same duties I just mentioned. And I'm willing to pay him $40 million to start our production. That way they all work hard for you. I'm going to cut this camera off.